Welcome back. So, I want to talk to you today about proportional relationships and equations. So, what our goals are for today, we're going to write the constant of proportionality as an entry in a table, and then we're going to write an equation in this format, y equals kx, and I'll explain that in a minute, to represent a proportional relationship described by a table. Okay? So, let's get started. So here I have a table, and we're going to complete this table and find the constant of proportionality. Now remember, constant of proportionality is the unit rate for a set of proportional relationships. So let's find that scale factor or that unit rate for the first row. 3 times what number gives us 12? We know that 3 times 4 equals 12. So I know that my COP, or my constant of proportionality, is 4. And because this table is proportional, I'm going to use the same COP, or the same scale factor, all the way down for every row in my table. So let's complete our table now. 1 times 4 is 4, so we need 4 cups of blue paint to 1 cup of red paint. That would be our unit rate right there. 7 times 4 is 28, so 28 cups of blue to 7 cups of red. But now I have 1 cup of blue, and I need to figure out the red. Something times 4 is equal to 1. Well, I can work backwards here. I'm going to do 1 divided by 4. That's the inverse operation. Instead of multiplying by 4, I'm dividing by 4, and I get 0.25. So either one of these answers works here. So I'm going to put 0.25 for 1 cup of blue. And then now I've got R cups of red paint. Well, if I want any number of red paint, what am I doing to the red to get how many blue I need? I'm multiplying by 4. So I need 4 R cups of blue paint. And remember, a letter and a number beside each other means that you are multiplying. Okay? So we're going to now write an equation. And I told you before when we were talking about our learning target, we're looking at an equation that looks like this. So something here is equal to K times X. K is your COP, or your constant of proportionality. So my Y, my blue, is equal to 4 times my R, because my COP is 4. All right? So these are in your notes, or you're going to copy them in your notes. So the format for proportional equations is y equals k times x, and k is your constant of proportionality. Make sure the variable y and x don't matter as much, but it needs to be in that format. So here's some examples. Y equals 4x, which is what we just did. Then we have y equals 2x, or you could have c equals 1/2 p. So you see how the variables don't have to be y and x. And then you have one here, a equals b. Well, how many b's do I have here? I have 1. So I could write this as a equals 1b, or a equals 1 times b. So there's an understood 1 in front of that b. But when we write equations, when there's only one of a variable, we don't really put that number there, so I just want to make sure you saw that. And then some non-examples. Y equals 4x plus 2. Well, there's this extra stuff here. I just would like to have the y equals 4x, so that's not an example of a proportional equation. Then I have a equals 7 minus 4. Well, that's just a equals 3, so that's not right. And then I have z equals 1/2 a minus 8. Again, we have some extra stuff that we don't need. Okay? So let's do 2 examples here. So I've got these tables. I know they're proportional, so let's make sure we know what our constant of proportionality is to write our equation. Before we do anything else, though, I want us to make sure we know y is equal to k times x, and k is our COP. Make sure you memorize that. You're going to have to know it forever and ever now, okay? So let's find our COP for our table. What are we multiplying by to go from x to y? 2 times what gives me 3? 3 times what number gives me 9? 4 times what number gives me 12? 3. 2 times 3, 3 times 3, 4 times 3. So I know that my constant of proportionality is 3. So to write my equation, I say y is equal to k, which is the COP, so 3 times x. And there's my proportional equation. For this second table, we're going to use our calculator because we're talking about money, so it's okay to use a calculator for that. I want to know what my COP is. And I'm only going to do 3 of these, but just know it's a proportional table, so it's going to be the same. 2 times something gives me 3. Well, I can use the inverse operation here. I can do 3 divided by 2, and I get 1.5. So I know that one is 1.5. Well, if I have 750 and 5, 750 divided by 5, I get 1.5 again. If I were to do 8 and 12, 11 and 16, 14 and 21, 17 and 25.50, I would get 1.5. So my COP is 1.5. So my equation then, I'm going to use cost as C is equal to your constant of proportionality, 1.5, times your X, or this time it is the number of snacks. So C is equal to 1.5S. That is my equation. 2 more and then I'll leave you to your practicing. This next equation, we have 0 and 0. Well, 0 times any number gives us 0, so that doesn't help us find our constant of proportionality. 2 times something is equal to 1. Again, I can use the inverse operation. I can say 1 divided by 2, which gives me 1/2, or 0.5. 10 times 1/2 is 5. 14 times 1/2 is 2. So my COP is equal to 1/2. So my equation is y is equal to 1/2 of x, because my format is y equals k times x, and k is our COP, constant of proportionality. For the last table, remember a horizontal table, we're going from top to bottom. 2 times what number is equal to 12? 6. 4 times what number is 24? 6. 6 times 6, 8 times 6, 10 times 6. So my COP is equal to 6. So my equation then is y is equal to 6 times whatever the x is. Okay? So hopefully this helps you with equations and tables and writing an equation from a table. And you guys are going to copy some notes now to make sure that you understand this. All right?